So the Galaxy Note 10 has finally been released, but there are a few things that I think we should talk about. So the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 was released just a few days ago to be reviewed, and most of it is very positive. Now, this video isn't to badmouth the Note in any way, but I do feel that there are a few things that we do need to talk about. So this video is just a quick rundown of a few things. It's not a review. It's not going through all of the specs. This is just questions that I think you need to ask yourself and, think, well, is this phone right for me? Because the things that I'm going to talk about may impact you, they may not. But some of the things that are promoted aren't all as they seem. So let's take a look. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the screen. Now, again, nothing wrong with this screen. It's a nice big AMOLED screen and it is fantastic. But it is still running at 60 Hz. Now, there are screens out there like OnePlus 7 Pro that are running at a much higher hertz, a much better refresh rate. Now, Samsung are, if you go on their website, they do promote this as a gaming device, and I'm sure it will work fine. But there are phones out there for much less money that will probably do a better job. The other thing to consider is, again, I've watched it on a few review videos. I think I saw it on one. Because of the size of the phone and because it has curved edges, what people have been saying that when they reach over to touch, so for example, when you've got your phone and you lean over, your palm touches the curved screen, so the screen will not react to your finger because you're already touching part of the screen with your hand. So you'll probably end up using two hands, which may or may not be an issue for you, but again, it's something to consider. So the other thing I want us to consider is the actual expandable storage. So the Note 10 comes at 256 gigabytes, which is respectable, it's not too bad. But for a flagship that is aimed at the power user, you may want more storage, and you can get the the Note 10 Plus at 512. Fantastic. But you can also upgrade the Plus version with a micro SD card up to 1 terabyte. Now, only the 10 Plus. This is not available, I don't believe, in the basic version, which I think is a bit of a letdown. But there is still a trade-off. For example, if you are a power user, you may be using this for work, so you may have two SIM cards. You may have your personal and you may have a work SIM card. If that is the case, there is no expandable storage slot for you, because you can either have a SIM card and a micro SD, or you can have dual SIM. Again, this is something that most phones have been doing for years, but with the way this is promoted, I would have expected dual SIM and expandable storage. It would have been nice. But if you only got 512 gigabytes of storage, for them it might not be enough. It may be perfectly fine, but I'm just saying that it's just something to consider. Now, 5G. Again, if you are a power user, you're going to want a flagship phone, you're going to want flagship specs. Now, here in the UK, 5G is in very limited places. You can't get it where I am, and I don't know when it's going to be rolled out. But you like to think you can be future-proofed. So you're going to want the 5G version. But at £1,200, is it worth it? It's an extra £200 just to have 5G. Now, I know they say 5G is going to be, 10 to 20 times faster than 4G, but 4G does a pretty good job anyway. So, is it worth the extra money for the upgrade that for something that isn't actually available yet to most people, I don't know, it's up to you. Again, if you're in London or even New York, 5G may be readily available. Yeah, okay, get it. If you think you can make use of it, sure, why not? But it does frustrate me that 5G is only available on the Note 10 Plus, because why wouldn't it be available on the Note 10? I mean, it doesn't make sense. It's just another reason for you to, they're trying to convince you to go for the bigger, more expensive phone. And I can understand why. It is a bigger, it is better, it's more feature packed, it is a great phone. But if you're going to release a flagship phone with variants, make sure that one of the biggest features is available on both. I mean, this is a big selling feature, 5G. I know a lot of people are excited about it. So make it available, Samsung. The next thing to talk about are the air gestures. Right, so it's got the S Pen. S Pen, people love it or hate it. They use it or they don't. My wife has had a Note a few years ago. She quite liked the pen, but you know what? When you actually think about it, most people don't really use it. And they're promoting this as like a wand. So if you're taking selfies, things like that, you can use the wand to flick like up and down, left and right to select different modes, whether it would be camera, video, front facing camera, rear facing camera, things like that. But again, is it something that we actually need? I think it's an answer for a question nobody answered, because, and let me explain. On the Samsung site, they've got a picture of some people doing a selfie. Well, the way the camera is set up, it looks like it's on a tripod, right? Okay, fair enough. But how many people take out tripods? I mean, who else takes out a selfie stick now? Again, selfie sticks are not in fashion. I don't think anybody uses them anymore. And coupled with the fact that this camera has an ultra wide angle lens, why would you need to hold it far enough away? I mean, you're holding the phone at arm's length. You can just touch what you need to do. Because if you're holding the phone, you just take the picture, and the ultra wide angle lens will get these group shots, so you don't have to have the camera far enough away to justify using an S Pen. And again, on the Samsung site, they mention that the S Pen could be used for presentations and things like that. Who uses their phone for a presentation if you are a professional? I'm not saying that people don't, I'm just saying that I think that the way Samsung are promoting it, they're giving a false sense of usefulness to the phone. I just don't think it's what people expect. And people look at these things and go, oh wow, it can do this. But take a real deep look and think, am I going to use these features? I mean, okay, great. They're saying you can use presentations. When do you ever need to use your phone for a presentation? When do you ever make a presentation? There's going to be very few people that actually do, and there's going to be even fewer that will be using their phones to do it. Then you come to the camera. Now, it's getting mixed reviews. I think that some of the features are not great. So again, people have been talking about the live view, and it can give you the bokeh effect behind, but people are saying that it doesn't look right. It looks artificial. Now, obviously, the background is real, but it is giving you an artificial effect. Now, this may be sorted out with updates in the future, because most of these things are just software related. But the camera itself, I think, is probably fantastic. People have been saying they've been taking amazing pictures, and with the ultra wide angle lens, you're going to get some amazing pictures. It's just some of the gimmicks like the live view and things like that people have just been questioning whether it's actually any good or any use at all. So the last thing I just wanted to talk about is the price. So here in the UK, your entry level Note 10, which is 256 of storage, 8 gigabytes of RAM, you're looking at £869. Sorry, it was written down there. Now, that is still quite a lot for a phone which is not that well spec'd. I mean, there's still quite a few differences between the Note 10 and the 10 Plus. And I think for your money, you're probably better off getting the S Plus instead of the basic Note. But if you do go for the Note 10 Plus, then the 4G version with 512 of storage, then that's going to be, I think it's £1,000. But if you go for the 5G version, then that's going to be £1,200. I don't know anybody that should spend that money on a phone. Not with even the S10 Plus and the OnePlus 7 Pro and the Huawei P30 Pro. All of those are much less money, still reasonably expensive, but they're much less money, and I think you'll get better value for money with those. My recommendation is, if you're going to pick one, go for the flagship phone. If you want a flagship phone, go with the one with the flagship specs. The S10 Plus 5G, 512 gigabytes of storage, because you're probably going to need the dual SIM, which means you won't be able to expand the storage. So go for the bigger one to begin with. Would I buy one? No. And that's not because I think it's a bad phone. I think it's a great phone. It looks amazing, and I think it's going to serve a purpose to a lot of people. But for me, I am not a power user. I hate using the air quotes. But I am not a power user, and I won't be using the S Pen. I won't be using the air gestures. These are some of the biggest features. I mean, granted, you know, there's pros and cons to every phone, but for £1,200, I couldn't do it. I mean, it's literally twice as much, pretty much, as the OnePlus 7 Pro. Almost twice as much, not quite. But could you? I mean, that one's got an equally good camera, almost, and it's, you know, it's a nice big, better screen. It's got, you can get that with more RAM, and do you know what I mean? It's just something that I think people should actually think about before they commit to buying any phone, just purely on the basis that it is new and exciting. So guys, I hope this has been interested for you, because it's just a few things that I think we should just obviously talk about. And if you have found it useful, please press the little like button, and if you've really enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification icon, and you'll be notified anytime I do any tech news or tech reviews. Guys, I shall see you soon. Bye.